So let's talk about fasting and why it is you might not be losing weight. We know that fasting is the best way for us, especially us aging women, to tap into what we have in storage. For a lot of us, the storage is inflammation and hormonal body fat. Those are the things that we really need to get rid of. But we have some things that are getting in our way. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm hopefully going to help you unlock some things in your thought process and what it is you're going through to help you break through what might be holding you back and then get you to the place where you're feeling successful. If you're joining us on YouTube, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button, please. And if you're joining us on Facebook, I also ask the same thing. Over there, you're just going to hit that follow tab and then make sure you're set up for notifications. And then as always, please make sure you're using that like button. This is how the algorithms know that this kind of information is relevant to our audience, and it will show this information to more people who can join our community. So I always appreciate when you guys take a second to do that. Here we talk about 3 things that you really need to focus on. Fasting long enough to balance out your hormones, because inflammation and stubborn weight and stubborn body fat is a hormonal issue. When we get our hormones balanced out, I also call this draining the tanks. That's when our body really can dip into what we have in storage and use that for our energy. And that's how we lose weight and body fat. We need to feast well enough to support our next fast. So if you're fasting and you're feeling hypoglycemic episodes, if you're feeling afraid, in a state of hungry, if you're not feeling supported during your fast, I promise you, you're not feasting well enough for your next fast. And whatever decisions you're making in that feasting window are going to make your next fasting opportunity feel uncomfortable, right? And so we want to make sure that we're eating naturally occurring high quality fats. We want to make sure that we are aware of where our protein sources are coming from, and we want to dip into those conscious carbohydrates. That's what I call those from the earth kind of carbohydrates, right? We know when we're making a good carbohydrate choice, and we also know when we're making a poor carbohydrate choice. So if you find that you're having to justify those poor choices and you're feeling uncomfortable in that fast, you have to go back to the drawing board and ask yourself why you're allowing yourself to make those choices when you know they're going to keep you from looking and feeling your best. And then you have to train smart for what it is you say that you want, right? We have to get into that fat utilization mode with what we're doing in our exercise. I call that training smart. If you're not monitoring your heart rate, if you don't know what a fat burning zone is for you, if you don't know how to support your training when you're fasting long and feasting well, this could be the stumbling block that's holding you back. So let's talk about what's keeping us from achieving our weight loss goals when fasting is one of the most simple ways to get to weight loss, right? And get to that place where we're reversing the signs of aging and a lot of this aging related diseases that so many of us are struggling with. So let's get to that. Okay. So here's what I hear a lot, and I'm going to talk to you today as if you booked a consult call with me and we're trying to get to the bottom of why it is you're not losing weight. So this is how I conduct my intermittent fasting for today's aging woman course, and this is how I conduct consult calls. If you're drinking coffee to help support what it is you're doing in your fasting window, but you are also saying, I can't give up my creamer or my sweeteners because I don't like coffee, then you are a candidate to give up coffee, right? Because what you're really doing in your fasting window is feasting. So if you're fasting and you're not losing weight and you're a person who can't give up your creamer or your sugar, this could be the reason why you're not losing weight, because you're not really fasting. You're actually feasting, but convincing your brain, because you're not eating solid food, that you're fasting. You're not achieving a fasted state hormonally, which is what we need to do to actually lose weight when we're practicing intermittent fasting. So If you're drinking coffee and you cannot give up creamer and you cannot give up sweeteners, you have to tell your brain that what you're actually doing is drinking creamer and sugar, and you're not really drinking coffee. Coffee is the excuse that you are using for creamer and sweeteners. That has to be where you go with your thought process and the honesty that you're willing to actually have with yourself about why you're not losing weight. So, this is one of the big stumbling blocks. Fasting is uncomfortable. This is where I like to really get you to think about what is it that you want to be most uncomfortable with, because hypoglycemic episodes are uncomfortable. That need you have when you have huge spikes with your sugar because of what you're eating, and then you have a steep decline in how your blood sugar is being regulated in your body. That's uncomfortable, right? And so we eat and we eat and we eat and we eat to satisfy the discomfort. Feeling not confident in your clothes or how you show up in your life because you feel self-conscious about how you look and feel. That's uncomfortable. Not sleeping well is uncomfortable, right? Always having that preoccupied thought in your head about how bad you're feeling is an uncomfortable way to live your life. So fasting, yes, can be uncomfortable, but you're already living an uncomfortable life. You have to choose which uncomfortable is going to serve you in the long run and which one is going to yield you the best end result. I always say defer to the fasting uncomfortable, because at some point you're going to find comfort in it, and you're going to undo all of the other things that have your mind so preoccupied about how bad you're looking when you see yourself and how bad you feel when you show up for your day, right? So choose the uncomfortable that's going to serve you best in the long run. Here's another reason why you're probably not losing weight despite the fact that you're practicing intermittent fasting, because you're afraid of the feeling of hunger. And this is where I always like to pose that back. How is feeling comfortable and fed all day long serving you? Right? How is that a comfort for you if you're not getting the results you say that you want? This is why here in this community we have the saying, hungry is where the magic happens. When you can find comfort and strength and a sense of power and be hungry, girlfriend, you are winning the game of life. You don't have to constantly be in a fed state to feel comfort. You have to change your mindset about what hungry means to you. And for most of us here, there is not a shortage of food within our reach. We're consciously choosing to fast, and we're consciously choosing to feast. So that's not discomfort, or that's not something that you should fear, right? Don't fear the feeling. Hungry is actually when the magic is starting to happen, because you're forcing your body to tap into what it is you're most frustrated with, and that is the inability to lose weight. When you're hungry and you sit in comfort in that, and you know that that's where the magic is going to happen, I promise you, you'll start to see the weight come off. The last one that really gets so many of us here in this community with, I'm fasting, but I'm not losing weight. It's because you're jumping around from advice to advice to advice, right? Because I heard XYZ. So one day you're going to listen to someone and they're going to tell you you can have creamer and sugar in your coffee and you're going to be fine because it's less than so many calories. That's not true. You're going to listen to someone else who says you can have this in your feasting window, and then you're going to do it, and then you're going to be frustrated. You're going to listen to someone who says 20 hours is too long, you should shorten your fasting window, and you're going to jump and do that, and then you're going to feel like you're being disappointed with fasting because you're not seeing the results you're hoping for. You have to stick consistently to one thing long enough for your body to adapt to the changes that you're making, so it will trust you and it will let go of the weight. If you're constantly jumping around and you're trying this one day and trying this the next day and trying this the next day and trying this the next day, your body is not trusting you, and it's not going to let go of the weight because it doesn't know what you're going to do on the next day. What are you going to deprive it of? What are you going to overfeed it? What kind of hormonal reaction are you going to create? What kind of chemical imbalance are you going to have to create? Or what type of food intolerance is your body going to have to manage? Your body has to do all of that work before it's ever going to let go of weight. We call this the hierarchy of healing. Your body determines that hierarchy. And if you're not consistently sticking to something that serves your body's not going to let go of the weight because it's too busy trying to fix the problems that the thoughts that you are creating, which causes you to do something, is going to create that reaction in your body. And it's not going to be able to let go of the weight because it's too busy fixing the little problem. Okay. So what can we do? Like, how can we fix these things? So what I really like to get us to understand is that for you who's frustrated, for the woman who's frustrated with fasting and not losing weight, I promise you you're leaning into the wrong discomfort because you're already feeling discomfort, feeling frustrated, you're throwing your hands up in the air, you don't know what to do, it must be the fasting. Trust me, it's not. We've had enough women find amazing results with this lifestyle once they really got serious and honest with themselves. So find a discomfort to lean into that's going to serve the end result that you're hoping for. Some of the things that we are afraid to let go of, you're probably eating too much in your feasting window. It is okay to have a period of time in your life where you just ease back on the food. You are not going to starve to death. You are not going to be malnourished. You're not going to lose muscle mass. You're not going to lose any of those things. You're going to give your body the opportunity to reset itself. And then when you get to the place where you're feeling really confident and you found this new level of safety, right, and magic in discomfort, then you can reevaluate your food choices and you can put them back in your feasting window in a way that's going to serve you, right? So a lot of us are still overeating because we're still in that calorie counting mindset. Calories mean nothing to us. And if you're not losing weight, it's because your body has too much coming in and you're not giving it the opportunity to utilize what you have in storage. For a lot of us, we're still making poor nutritional choices. Your body has to have the nutrients that it needs, again, to heal itself on a hormonal and chemical level so that you can lose weight. So if you're still eating highly processed foods, you're still consuming bad oils, you're still putting stuff in your body that are causing you to have food intolerances. Gluten, dairy, and soy are the three that are causing us so many problems. That's what's holding you back from losing weight. You got to clean up your nutrition. You're not clean fasting consistently. This again goes back to the, I heard someone say this, or I'm going to try this. I'm fasting for 16 and I'm feasting for 8. I don't know why I'm losing weight. You have to ask yourself why you're following that fasting protocol if it's not yielding you the results that you're hoping for. That just means that's not working for you, and you have to find something that's going to get you into that place where you're going to start to see and feel the results. So fast consistently long enough for you to get those hormonal balances so that you can make the switch from hoarding, right? Hoarding in storage to pulling out and utilizing. And that is going to take you fasting longer than what you currently are. Poor sleep is another one of those things that keep us from holding on to weight despite the fact that we're fasting. Remember, we want to have that metabolic flexibility in all aspects of our life, and our sleep is really where our body gets the chance to convert energy and restore itself. So if you're not sleeping well, make sure you start tracking your sleep and figure out what it is you're doing in the evening before you lay down to go to bed that's causing you to have such disrupted sleep. I promise you it's probably something you're doing in your feasting window. So get really good at identifying those things. Not getting enough water. Here we talk about 100 to 150 ounces of water. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you're getting 100 to 150 ounces of water, or hit that like button if you know you need to increase your water, right? Hydration is key, again, to us letting go of that body weight and the inflammation. So you have to get that water up for sure. You're not honest with yourself. That's usually one thing. It's usually that one thing that you're afraid to let go of. For some of us, it's those cocktails at night. Is my glass of wine at dinner holding me back from losing weight? I don't know. Try it out. Go 2 weeks with no wine. See if you make a shift. And then you have to reevaluate how often you want to let that one thing back in your life that could be the thing that's keeping you back from losing weight. You have to make those honest lifestyle choices. And if your wine is something that's really important to you, it's not a bad thing. You just can't complain about the weight you're not losing if you've identified wine could be that thing that's holding it onto you. You have to pick what it is you want to battle with. Sometimes we go in seasons where we just like, I'm going to hold the extra weight because this is a season where I'm going to enjoy wine out on the patio with my husband or your spouse or your kids or whoever it is you enjoy that with. And you're going to go ahead and just be like, this is a season I'm just going to be a little extra fluffy. And that's okay. You're going to have another season where you can get rid of it. Working out incorrectly for your goals. We already talked about that. You want to make sure that when you're training smart. Training smart means that you're working out in a way that's going to yield you the results that you say that you want. If you want to put muscle on your body, you cannot be lifting light weights for high repetitions. You have to be picking up some heavier weights, and you've got to work your muscles to that point of failure. It's the breakdown, rebuild aspect of muscle building. We have to make sure that if we are working out with a trainer or we're working out in a certain program, if you're working out in a way and you're paying someone for a result and they're coming into your workout with their belief system and not what you say that you want, you have the wrong personal trainer and you need to go find a new one. You should be able to get the results that you want when you're training smart for the goals you say you want. So make sure whoever it is that you're working out with or whatever program you're working out with is advertising the result that you want. And then that's where you want to spend your time. For most of us women, it's bringing the intensity down and really focusing on what it is we say we want with how we want our body to look. And then your mindset is leading you astray. I promise you that there is no one right way to do this, that there is no one right way to eat. There's no one right belief system. It's what is going to work for you. You don't have to fast in the day. You can fast at night. You don't have to feast at night. You can feast in the morning. Working out is that thing that you have to figure out when you can fit it into your schedule. But we have to go back to the 3 things I talked about in the beginning here, right? And that is we have to be very honest with ourselves. Where's my 3 things? We have to be very honest with ourselves that this is all it takes. It doesn't have to be super fancy. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but we do have to be honest with ourselves and we have to get ourselves to that reset place. Once you learn how to fast long, once you learn how to feast well, and once you learn how to train smart, all you have to do is rinse and repeat. But there is a learning curve that you have to go through to figure out for yourself what those 3 components are, because what I do may not work for you. You have to do the research for yourself and be willing to do some experimenting and then stick with something long enough for you to see and feel the results. This is the simplest way to live your life. Girlfriend, I promise you, this is the simplest way for you to live your life. The problems come from here and the past beliefs we've had about food and the past information that we trusted about how we take care of our bodies. And we have to be willing to do something differently if those things are no longer serving us. And I promise you, you'll get the results and it will be the most amazing thing. We want to create a community of women who are feeling confident about the personal choices they're making for themselves, and they're not waiting for someone to tell them what to do. Like, you don't need permission. Just do what feels good for you and just use really common sense stuff. So I will never talk someone out of a multiple day water fast. I say, you do you, girlfriend. Just be safe. I don't talk anybody out of eating anything. Just make sure you're clear with your mind that that's going to serve what it is you say you want, because ultimately we're creating a community of women who are looking and feeling their best and doing that in their most authentic way. You don't have to do it my way. You have to do it in the way that's going to be most authentic for you. And that's what I love about you guys here. I hope that if you're feeling frustrated, I said just one thing today that you're going to take with you and rethink and implement into your life as a change, and then come back and let us know how it worked for you. We want to make sure that you are really having the opportunity every single day to look and feel your best. And I want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that will create a lifestyle for you that will stand the test of time, because all the decisions we're making today are for that future self and how we want to show up for her. Have a great rest of your day today, you guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys back here on Monday at noon Central Standard Time. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.